How's it, everybody? Just thought I'd do a talk story session today. If any of you have questions or things that you want to, bring up or find out about. So anyway, I have my laptop here so I can see your questions. Just thought I'd do a while I wait talk for story you. Session today. If any of you have questions or things that you thought wanna, I would bring up or find out about. So anyway, I have my laptop here so I can see your questions. Just thought I'd do a while I wait talk for story you. Session today. If any of you have questions or things that you thought wanna, I would bring up or find out about. So anyway, I have my how's it, Alfredo? Laptop here. So how's everything? Okay? Does it sound everything good? I thought, but I'm just waiting to see today. How's the throwing today? So Alfredo, you're gonna go and be up there. Um, oh, you just got your haircut. You're gonna be up there for February. Yeah, that should go away shortly. How's it, Craig? So sounds good. I thought I fixed that autofocus, but might have to do it again. What day is it going up, Alfredo? Let's see. Uh, Today's Friday to Sunday. Okay, I'm gonna be up there the 21st to the 26th. How's it, G Dub? Victor, how's it? Get in Thursday night, so that's about what, 8 o'clock at night, probably. Is that what it is, Alfredo? Thursday night. Just kicking back, chilling, Victor. That's why I decided I'll just do a talk story session. If anybody has questions, things on their mind, like me. I have nothing to do today, so I thought, haven't put out anything in a long time, so just thought I'd try and do this talk story session with people who are watching. But the sound seems to be good. That's all good. Thursday at 11 p.m. Oh, Thursday 11 p.m. you get in. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, yesterday. How's it, Crooked River Craps? Yeah, yesterday I had a guy come over that I was teaching some strategies to um, maybe a month or so ago, and then he came by yesterday and wanted to learn about shooting, dice influencing, and that's not really me, but I worked with him for a little bit, explaining about dice drifting, implosions, explosions, double pitches. Then Robert came over too, so Robert was talking to him about the way he gripped the dice and things like that. So anyway, he started throwing, and we put up some bets, and he had a good roll. He rolled to 25, made it all small, and then continued that 25 roll because he was still shooting. He rode 40 rows, and we made some good money doing that. So he was happy about that. But like I said, it could have been his time to throw, and that's why he threw for a while. But he hit the all small. He needed the 8 foot all tall. Came back, hit the all small again. He only needed the six to complete it twice. So he had only the 6 and 8 to complete the all and all small twice. Didn't get there, but he did pretty well. Let's see. Oh, you rolled 35 last night. Alfredo, awesome. Qualifier Invitational Tournament. Yeah, I know you guys have one with George from CY, but I just don't have the time to do it during, whenever the things are. And so, I don't know, I just not into the kind of tournament kind things, but, I wish everybody luck on that tournament to do the best you can, And I agree, it should be only on the tosses and not so much on the how much money you win because it all depends what strategy you playing and how's the dice rolling as to who's going to win the most money when it comes to that kind of tournament. So if it's about the tossing, I think that's a great tournament, right? But then again, sometimes it's not your time, and at other times it is your time. So that's why I'm just not really too much into tournaments for me myself, anyway. I think Tasha is working right now, Alfredo, but I'll throw with you for a while after we do this little talk story session. Yeah, you're right, CRC. Dice sometimes they're just not your friend. You can have the nicest toss, nice landing, everything, and the results are not just the best, right? So um, it's just hard. However, it's happening on that day. So I'm already booked for February 21st to the 26th. Also, I booked already for March 21st to the 26th. I already booked also for April 18th to the 23rd. So it's gonna be an expensive credit card month this month to pay off everything. But if you don't, for guys like us, and I guess maybe people in the mainland also, but from Hawaii, it gets costly, to fly. So we need to book way ahead of time to get the best prices for the flights. Yeah, so if maybe in 10 minutes or so, if nobody else comes on with questions or anything like that, then Alfredo, I'll give you a call, and then we can do some Skype. I want Craig. I've been talking to Craig about setting up his Skype so we can play with them, but so far he's being lazy and doesn't go out and go buy anything. Yes, yeah, I see. Staying alive. That's the way to play. I mean, the last time when I was up in Vegas, Mar was with us, Carrie guys, a few people, but um, Carrie's. I'm not Carrie, but Mar. I was playing with her, and she wanted to learn a low roller strategy that might help her because she buys in for like $300, and of course, you gotta find the right table that you can afford, right? So there's hardly $10 tables. We play at Orleans, $15 tables. So she bought in for 300, played what I taught her, which was my 6-8 rebate. Of course, the table's gotta be, maybe choppy is okay, but not just bad, not just PSOs, or PPSOs, but the table wasn't the greatest, was choppy, but she playing that strategy that I taught her played for 6.5 hours on $300, and that was awesome to see somebody with $300 last playing 6.5 hours, and playing, staying alive, getting your money back, and this and that, and so it helped her, and so I put it up at a little higher level for other people who have a little bit more money, and played it with the 110, and it works pretty well. How's it, Aaron? Craig, no laugh, Craig. You better get your stuff set up so we can practice. Yeah, that was Craig's friend's daughters that he took that picture with on his birthday, Alfredo. More ladies on the tables is great. Um, I also heard from Carrie that went on her cruise. I asked her how she did because it was $25 tables. So she said the tables were a little high, kind of narrow. Um, I had only one table actually on that boat on the cruise, and she was playing the 110 that I showed her how to play because it was a $25 table, and she said she lasted. She didn't win, but she lasted with the bankroll that she had. I don't know what she was buying it for, maybe 500 or 300, whatever she bought it for, but she lasted. And then she was saying that if she took everything down to felt, like by watching the people and their roles, and a lot of them were doing, PSOs, PPSOs. So if she did that, she said she'd be better off. Probably not losing as much money or maybe even winning. Um, on her last roll, the ship was coming back to port, and you only can play out when you're in gamble when you're in international waters. So as the ship was coming in, she said she was on nice roll. So because she knew it was the last roll, because they were coming back into port, she put out most of her money, or maybe even all of her money. But she was on a monster, and they were coming in, and they were just getting out of international waters where they would have to stop gambling, and so she had only three more rolls she could roll, and then they stopped her, and she had to stop. But so she did. She felt she had a good chance to get back all her losses and maybe get into the win column, but they stopped her from shooting, and so I guess she lost a little bit. But all in all, like I told her, I mean, she was just learning that strategy from me, and she did pretty well. So I told her, when you learn strategies, you got to play them in the casinos, and you have to play them, quite often, not just one session, because other sessions things gonna change, right? The dice are gonna change, shooters are gonna change. So even though you lost a little bit, I told her it was a good experience. And like you told me that, if you took them down to felt on certain shooters, you wouldn't have lost that much, or maybe you would have even made some money. So um, learning different strategies so that you have different strategies to go to, and learning how the tables are doing and what's happening on the tables, and adjusting to those things, um, really, really could help you, right? It really could help you. Um, let's see over here. Some of these girls, yep. Money table, good vibes. Nice. Well played, discipline. Yeah, you really need discipline. I mean, that's for sure. CRC, you really need discipline. I gotta work on my discipline myself, So that's why in most of my videos I say do as I say, not as I do. So even if you see me pressing, and I told you at this point you should play staying alive, depress your bets, or whatever it is, um, listen to what I say. Don't do as I do, because sometimes I get out of hand. Um, let's see. Virgin. Yeah, she was. They were on the Virgin cruise. I think the ship name was. They took the dice away from you at South Point, right, Alfredo? Yeah, I hear they're very strict at South Point, and if you're not hitting the back wall, they might just not let you shoot anymore. You're making a bunch of money. They don't like what you're doing. They'll just maybe stop and take the dice away from you, like they did. I mean, I hear there's a lot of hassles up there at South Point. So Craig will be there also in February at the Orleans. I think he comes in like the 26th or something like that. No, not 26th. He leaves on the 27th. Craig, when you come in, like the 23rd or 24th, right? So anyway, if you guys like this talk story session, and then I might put it on once a week or so, and if you have any questions, things you'd like to know about, catch up on what's going on. When I put it out, make sure you have your notification bell available for you to get the message. And after we're done, like and subscribe would help. I appreciate all the support that I'm getting from you guys. I know that I'm not putting out a lot of things nowadays, right? But there's only so many strategies you can do, right? The rest of the thing is how do you adjust to the table, taking care of your discipline. Those things is what you need to learn, and you only can learn that when you're in the casino. So Craig's will be coming up 24th to the 27th. So I'll be there 21st to the 26th. Alfredo's going to be up there for 2 days. Mara will be up there. And talking about Mara, I think she had a practice session with the ACS group. And they usually practice Friday nights. And she bought in. She for 500. She told me played the 110 the way I showed her, and she ended up. I guess she was the only one playing $25 table limit. I guess on herself to practice it, and she ended up yeah, up and down, sometimes maybe down, but it stuck with it, and maybe changed up to things like the easy, like I told her that's the adjustments you can make. She ended up winning $72, which doesn't seem like much, but there were a lot of I understand there was a lot of PSOs and just a few maybe rolls of six or so, and the rest was all lower than that. And sometimes you throw eight, maybe even 10 points, well, not points, but rolls, and a lot of it is, um, maybe horn numbers, and you're not playing horn numbers, or you're only playing 5 through 9, and you don't have the 4 and 10, and so those numbers won't help you, right? So it all depends on your strategy and what numbers are being rolled. So anyway, if you don't have any other questions, then I'm gonna cut the video short. It's like what, about 20, almost 20 minutes of us being here, and that's fine. I mean, just talking story, and having you guys being able to join me and ask whatever questions you have, or think about some. So maybe if I put out another talk story session, that you'll have some questions that you want to ask. And anyway, I thinking that I since I'm going up Vegas, quite often, almost once a month, that Carrie and I, Carrie Coda from Let's Roll, and she has the Craps Angels. Um, we're talking about, she has a full size table at her house, so um, she was talking about, let's do some classes in Vegas on um, strategies, and people can come there and learn. So I mean, we might be putting out some kind of advertisement or flyer about that if we're really going to go through with doing something like that. Because there are a lot of classes on how how to shoot dice, dice influencing. Not very much on strategies, only strategies. Because I'm not like, like I said, I'm not a dice influencer, and I wouldn't want to be claiming that I am and start doing classes on dice influencing. That's just not me. I'm more of a strategist, and so I wouldn't mind teaching strategy, and so we might do that. Yeah, Alfredo's good at dice influencing. You know, strategies also, and I've worked with Alfredo. We worked together. We did some betting together. So this talk story session, at least you guys can talk to each other as well as talk to me, and since we all have nothing really to do, but we do have the interest of shooting craps, that we all can help each other out, and you know, I think that also while we're here, and I know that's just us, but maybe whoever gonna watch the video might learn that when I'm at the tables in Vegas, and I know these people have been playing a lot. I mean, you can tell. I mean, they're not really young people. I mean, they're more elderly like me, and so we've been around playing dice for a while. I mean, I've been throwing dice and doing things like over 40 years, but um, like I always say, I only got smarter maybe in the last 3 years and willing to share what I know. But I noticed that people are out there and they're putting money on a pass line, right? And then they also put odds. And sometimes when you look at that, and I look at that, I seen people like maybe they playing the point is a 5 or 9, and they're on the pass line. So they got $15 on the pass line. They got $60 in the back as odds. But the problem is, they're in the way of the shooter's landing zone, right? And everybody's there trying to win. So you don't want to be putting money out there. So sometimes, if I feel like if I can talk to these guys, because not everybody wants to move their bet, ask them they can move their bet over, or things like that, because we all want to win, right? So let's give the shooter a great landing zone for him, right? But then some people, they just go no, so I'm not gonna argue with them. But if you have been playing a lot, then you should know that the dice is going down towards that end of the table. That you shouldn't be putting place bets. On top of that, like I said, you got a 9 or a 5 at the point. You got $15 on the pass line. You got $60 in the back, and if you total that up, the backside is gonna pay you. You got 60 is gonna pay you 90, and you got 15 in the front. So that's a total of 105. So if you took the $75 total, the 60 in the back and the 15 on the front, and you placed it on that 509, you would still get paid 105. So why even block up the pass line if the dice is going towards you? Unless you have proposition bets that you play in, and you have to have a pass line to play that. Then I see that, but you could move it out of the way. Sometimes even like the field bets, you know, that it's coming your way. Dealers, the shooter's throwing it on your side. Then maybe move it further up so that his landing zone he can get over your bets, right? Things like that, or people that just buy in during the game. The puck is on. The guys already established a number, and then they come in with cash and they buy in. Um, you know, and I've seen some people who buy in when the dice is on. They get their chips, they put it in a rack, and they're not going to even bet. So why even buy in? No reason for that, right? If you really want to get into that role because the shooter's doing well, um, like you have a friend next to you, whatever, and an example I'll give you is like like Alfredo, he came to the table when I was throwing a long roll, and me and Robert was there at Orleans, right, Alfredo, and then he wanted to get in, but he's standing there because he's got cash. So what does he do? He buys chips from Robert. So now when he bets, he's just putting chips. He's not slowing up the game or anything like that. So that's something that you might want to think about doing if you want to get into the game. Hey, buy some chips from the guy that's already playing. Or some guys, they don't turn in all their chips. They color up. They keep them in their pocket, and then when they get on a table, they have chips to play with. Right. So those are things that you know we need to think about, or maybe teach somebody else or anything like that. How did Duracell? Let's see. Oh, we got 14 people watching. Hey, Bird Dog, what's going on? I'm just doing a talking shop, Alfredo. Let's see. What's the question? Make sure it's an easy question, Alfredo. Let's see. When you go out, when you go out of playing, get to casino, what's the best way to tell if the table is good versus bad? Well, for me, Alfredo, and it's probably the same for you, is that when we get in, I know you hate to just get off the plane, come down, and go play. So a lot of times when I do that, I look at the rack, see how much chips are on the rack, whether people have a lot of chips. I also looking at the color of the type of chips, so I know how much money they got. Also, make sure, because way back when I used to I buy in for 1,000, right? Put it on my rack. People walking by, they go, "Oh, this table must be hitting. Look, the guy get all black chips." Little do they know that I just bought in for that money, right? So step back. Don't rush. Never rush to the table. I used to rush all the time, and back in the day, get to the hotel, throw my bags up in the room. Don't even unpack. Rush right back down to the table. Just can't wait till you get to the table, and then get murdered, right? Because you don't really know what the table's doing. You're not really in the right mindset. And so after a while, I started telling myself, I'm beginning to feel like cattle rushing to the slaughterhouse. So I ended up stopping doing that, right? I ended up stopping doing it. Don't rush anymore. Take my time, sit back, watch the table, listen to the people talking, and see how the energy of the table, right? Look how much throws the shooters throwing around the table. See what kind of numbers they are throwing. Is it rubbish numbers, what I call rubbish numbers, or is it all good numbers? People now having chips in the rack, the energy feels high before I jump on the table. Then if I really don't know, it's kind of, it's a toss between good or bad. I usually get on the table and I bet small. I bet something small. I play one easy 75. I play 76 inside. Things like that, just to get the feel of the table. Never, I don't, before I jump in the table, I'm playing 220, 240, 180, and that's just to learn if the table is good. That was real stupid of me, but I feel like I'm already old, but the older I'm getting, the smarter I'm getting. So that would be my advice. Just check the table, see the energy at the table, see what the people that if their faces are down like this, or they're up and they're smiling and they're talking it up. Then the table is pretty decent. Of course, you don't want those tables that you're sitting on the side or playing on another table and you hear it screaming, screaming. Wow, they're all yelling, and you go over there and you say, "How's the table?" And they go, "Oh, the guy just hit the point and I made $27." Right? So those guys are like low rollers and they're happy that they won $27 or whatever it is, right? Or $1 hard way that they hit. So just watch those things. Take your time. Don't rush. Even when you're tossing the dice, don't rush. Right? Let everything settle down. The payoffs all get out. People making all their bets because people do last minute bets. Let everything settle. Then take the dice. Then look at your landing zone. Make sure the dice is good in your hand. Stare at the landing zone and then let the dice go. Whether the toss is good or bad doesn't matter as long as you did the best that you could with that toss. That's all that matters, right? And it doesn't matter if guys are betting big money, they're not betting big money or whatever. That's their problem. Your thing is just to throw the dice. If it's a seven, it's a seven, right? We're all big boys. We gotta live with that, right? Okay, so what else is here? That's why I have my iPad here because the chats and the comments won't stay up on my TV. It'll disappear, so I have this. Let's see. Okay, so we answered that question. Yeah, open the landing zone. You need to have the landing zone open. Also, I don't know why, but I find that people who are throwing a nice arc, maybe they're throwing it high, maybe they're throwing it low, whatever it is. But, it's working. They're throwing double digits now. And for some reason, I don't know why, if they're throwing high and they're getting good points all of a sudden, maybe they only got the pass line and they're not getting their point. They change it up and they throw it low now. And I swear, 90% of the time, within one or two rows, it's a seven. So, I don't know why people change up. Like I said, I'm now a dice influencer, but when something's working, don't change it. Uh, yeah, I like that. Everybody needs to wear a shirt on the back that says "Buy in when puck is off" when the crap tables. Or you could turn around and see when you have that shirt with puck is off, and then buy in when puck is off, and then when they buy in with the puck on, you turn around and says puck you in the front. uh, Duracell 8, can you go to the cage and get chips? I don't think they'll sell you chips at the cage, especially for playing. I thought I saw somebody go in there and buy like $1 chip because he's saving chips, but most time they want you to get it out at the tables. Hey Roger, how are you? Hope you're feeling better. Thank you, Roger. I always try to give good advice. I don't know. For me, I think it's good advice. Hopefully, for everybody else, it is. Um, oh, okay. Wait, Alfredo, you want to know about let people know about the corporation and when you might use it and power it gives both players incorporation. Yeah, me and Alfredo were at Orleans, and it was pretty late, so we're just next to each other. And I told Alfredo, you know what? How's about you put 300, I put 300. That'll give us 600. So right there, the power of having a corporation just brought you from a $300 bankroll to a $600 bankroll for both of you. Okay, so one of you will play, and that's fine. I mean, like Alfredo and I, we make enough hours for our comps, so we don't care really who's playing. Or maybe next time you go on another table, if Alfredo is playing, then in a corporation, I'll play, right? But it gives you more power. Like if you want low roll, or even if you buy in for 1,000, wouldn't it feel better that you had $2,000? So another guy gave you 1,000, right? So just like you buy in for 300, it feels a lot better that you got 600, because you know that sometimes that first one, two rows is killing you, and when you have a lower bankroll, you're down like 300, you lost 150. All of a sudden, your way of play or betting starts to change. In your mind, it's like, oh, should I put out that another $10 to cover the horn or hardware, whatever? And you're looking at yourself in the rack, and half your bankroll gone already. And so it starts to change your way of thinking. So when half your bankroll of your 300 is gone, but you're in cooperation with another guy who gave you 300, now you got 400 something. So you're not feeling as, you know, critical. I might lose my money. Maybe I should walk right now, and then you do, and then the table starts to change, and so you cannot make back any money. So that is the part about, you're getting more power because you have more money to play, and it allows you to do other things. So that helps. By doing a corporation, it helps. It gives you a lot more power, and you can do other types of bidding. Maybe before, if you only could play 66 inside, now you could double that bet up because you got more money, right? I mean, me and Alfredo did that, and I don't know, Alfredo, I think we played for about 3 hours on one table that wasn't very well, choppy and whatever. But we ended up, yeah, we lost, we lost like 300, but then only lost 150 instead of 300, and he only lost 150 instead of 300. So we both him and I went on the table because we play very similar. That he would have lost 300 and I would have lost 300. So making a corporation helps both people. Gives you a bit more money power. Gives you ability to play different strategies. Ability to last the bad table a little longer in case the table changes. There's a lot of benefits to forming a corporation. Best computer. I found a great perch at the sports book at the ocean in Atlantic City. Can you see the craps pit well enough as well as hear it? Oh, you can see it. Good advice, Victor. Yeah, Craig knows the corporation really helps. Dollar beers, Aaron, great advice. Crooked River Craps, new merch. Yeah, I do have new merch. I'm trying to work on putting up a page for a store, which would, so when people ask me about my merchandise, they can just go to that page. I'm working on it with a friend, associate of ours from Craps Hawaii, who's in Honolulu. And because I'm not that great when it comes to computer designing, um, I'll show you a shirt that I have. Let's see, I'll be right back here. So here's the shirt. It's not opened, but this is our shirt. It says Craps Hawaii in the front, similar similar to this but smaller wording. It's a 3/4 dry fit shirt. So um, the front is black. There's red over here because the sleeves are 3/4 and they're red. So, and the back side has the Craps Hawaii logo in the back. Actually, this is the Craps Hawaii logo in the back. So this is our new merchandise that I got. I also got another one that has a big black chip in the back. Says Craps Hawaii, and has the islands and things like that. So I'll be um, I'll be working on putting that store together, and then you can see all the merchandise there. I don't really sell hats. I can make have hats made, I should say. This was one that I had made. It's this is embroidered on this hat, Craft Hawaii. But I don't wear a hat. I usually wear visors, so I didn't really make hats. I only made three hats. One for Tasha, one for me, and one for my friend Mike that passed away. So I don't, because I buy everything, right. I don't go through a store that'll print the shirt that day or whatever, and I buy all my merchandise. So, and then I mail it out myself because I want quality products. Like these shirts are all dry fit. These lettering, they're all sublimated, so they're right into the material. They're not like silk screen or hot pressed on. And so it does cost a lot of money to get these things, but then I want quality for my people, so I don't go to these stores that you can order one or whatever. And when I order, I gotta order at least 20, and it gets expensive when you order every size there is, right? All the way up to 4X from small or whatever. So anyway, if you want merchandise, you go to my channel, craftshawaii at gmail.com, and email me your size, your address, things like that. And if you're buying two shirts, then it's the same price of shipping for one or for two. Maybe if you get into three shirts, then it gets a little bit more expensive for the shipping, but not much. Usually shipping is anywhere between $8 to $10. But if you plan on buying, since buy one shirt and pay $8 for shipping, unless that's all you want is one. Otherwise, it's better to buy two and still pay the same shipping for the two of them. So anyway, let's get back to here. I'm missing, I guess, some things. Um, da, da, da. You can get it from BJ Table. I use a real abacus to do my own thing, built in and win goals and loss limits and money management. That's a great thing to do. And if you good, you're still left with half bank. Good night. Thank you. Good night, Craps River. Um, Still alive. It's based on Windcraft Sims. I did a while back. I liked 50% win goal, 50% loss limit, and 50% press rate. Question, Mel. George just went to the underhand toss to limit bouncy effect. It's same as your shot was your toss based on lowering bouncy table effects. Um, Not really. For me, throwing backhand, I can throw backhand, but I find that throwing backhand, I get harder time controlling the landing zone, hitting the landing zone more consistently, getting my flight of my dice more consistent. Underhand, I feel like I have more control over the dice, and it's easier for me. People throw backhand, the dice will be backspin, right? So a lot of times they stop short unless you throw it really hard. I control my spin by lifting my fingers on the dice and giving it some forward spin. Um, and I can control that pretty much about how much I want to, have the spin go forward to hit the wall or whatever. So you don't see very many people throwing that way. Basically, so far I see it's me and some people that I've taught strategies to. They change to toss it the way I do, and they seem to do okay. They say um, bouncy tables. If you're gonna throw a high arc, you need to throw that close to the back wall, right? Maybe about this far, maybe 2 to 3 inches from that back wall, and hopefully they just bounce up and low. They bounce up and hit low to the diamond so that they just die right there. High tosses will um, take away the inertia of the dice when they hit the table, right? They kind of kill the dice, but you hit it too far out, even though they kill the dice and too far from the wall, it's gonna bounce and do its own thing. For me, I find that if the table is bouncy, I tend to roll the dice from maybe over here, maybe from halfway. I'll throw it low, and with enough forward spin that it'll travel to the wall. That's just me for bouncy tables. Let's see. Install neoprene felt joy, best quality. Yeah, thanks, Alfredo. You got some shirts for me. Most people in fact, I would say all people that got to my merch, feel that the material is good material, quality material. The printing does not fade or anything. Shirts don't discolor, and they're dry fit shirts. So if it's not any more questions, then I'm gonna try and hopefully be able to shut off my YouTube. You know, normally I can't shut off my YouTube, but I think I found the problem, and hopefully I can shut it off, and hopefully other people who watch the video, maybe that's not on the channel now, maybe next time we do a talk story session, that they might join. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the story session. Explain and show the easy. Oh, stent placer. I'll give you a fast. Since I just seen your thing right now, I'll just give you a fast. Show you on an easy. So let's say an easy 75. Easy 75 is played like this. That's a total of $75. And then the difference between the easy and let's say the um, Iron Cross, because it's basically almost the same. But in the Iron Cross, you're gonna have to cover the five, right? So so that becomes the Iron Cross. The problem with the Iron Cross that I don't care for is that you throw, you got a point, right? And then you throw and it's a seven. Then you lose $15 for nothing, right? So with the easy, you hopping the five for $15 because I mean $2. I'm sorry, but it pays 15 to one. Okay, so if you cover it with this, a seven gets thrown now. You only lose $2 instead of $15 that you had here. But if a five comes, then you're gonna lose 16. You're gonna win 15. So you gotta add a dollar. But if you don't want to do that, then you put $2 more, and you get paid 30, and you lose 16. So you win $14 instead of losing a dollar, right? So that's how the easy works. When it hits, you move. I wouldn't say you move that, but you win 15, whatever. Or if you hit a 6 or 8, you win 20 because you win 35 minus 15, you get 20 net. And I covered a five, and that's it. And you don't have to hop the five anymore because now it's protected. But even if a seven comes down and you lose it, you're only losing what you won, right? You didn't lose the whole thing, right? Because you won this. You only lose the 75. But let's say another six or field hits, and if it hits like 12 or whatever, you win triple or aces, you win double. But let's just say another 6 or 8 hits, you win 20. So now this is a win, this is a win. So you're up $40 already. So at that point, I pull a five, I pull a nine, and I hop it again. I start all over. But let's say you want to stay in the game, right? So let's say you took this off, you racked it, or you can place it a 410 if you want to look for full wins and no deductions from the field. But of course, if you like this and you hit the nine, they pay you double, right? It pays you here and here. So let's say another roll comes and it is a 6 or 8 again, right? So and you wanted to play across, so it's a 6 or 8. So you're gonna just gonna pay it off in red. I mean, of course, the house will not do that. The house will give you a quarter and like that pays you 35. But I just pay them off like this. So 10, 20, 35 is what you would win, right? So at that point, the house would pay you like this, and then I would say, well, I'll just throw them a dollar. But I'm just showing you how it works. So you give a dollar from your rack, take back this $60, and go to 18 each here. And now you're at 76, and from 76 you can start doing your pressing and things like that. So I don't suggest staying in the easy, but get in the easy to give you better opportunities so that you can end up playing something else, right? You can play start going across and do your presses or do your takes and whatever it is. But I mean, I have a lot of videos on that, and go check it out. The Aloha Special 130 or the 76 or the Easy 75. Also, you can scale it way up to whatever you want. Sometimes I play 120, 120, 70 in the field, hopping for $5 each, which would pay me 75 if the five comes. You know, things like that. So that's a such short explanation of the easy. What are your favorite five casinos to gamble on craps and why? Oh, well, Fredo, you're making it really hard for me. I used to like to play at the Nugget a lot. I used to stay at the Golden Nugget. I liked their tables. I know they switched them out and now they got molded plastic rails on their tables. They sold their wooden tables. Um, so the Golden Nuggets, I like Nugget. I like the Fremont table. I like the surface of the Fremont table. The only thing is they only have double odds, and you can never. I'll tell you right now. You know when you play a pass line, if you're not playing five times the amount of your pass line bet, it's better for you to place the bet. You make more money that way. And so when you go to some place like only double odds, you can never play five times the amount of your pass line bet. So better that you place bets. Pass line bet. The only thing that's in your favor is a 7 or 11 on the come out. But I hear about people going, oh, I get 20 times the odds if I play this certain place, like maybe Main Street. But what you got to realize is the house will never give you something that's in your favor. So of course, everybody goes, yeah, but I got the 7 in my favor on the come out. I got the 11. Yes, you do, but you're only getting paid even money. And then so when a point is made and you're gonna put 20 times the odds, and let's say your point is a 4 or maybe a 5 or 9, not really the 6 or 8 that comes that more often than 5 9s and 6 8. Well, supposed to. Now all of a sudden your big advantage over the house when I come out you had the 7. Now the 7 is in favor of the house, and that's why they give you 20 times odds that you can put in the back. So to me, that's not a great idea. So anyway, you cannot play five times odds. And some places are 3 4 5. So the only place you can play five times odds would be on the 6 and 8, and you could never play it on the 4 or the 5 or the 9 or the 10. So better to have place bets. And then with place bets, like sometimes I play. I'm the shooter. I have a pass line bet. I lay out, let's say, something like a 7 a 6 like this. The point is 9. The dealer comes, oh, you want this down and put it as odds in the back? And I go, no. And they go, it pays you better in the back. I say, yeah, I know, but I don't want it here. And that reason for me is because let's say a 5 hits, right? In this situation, a 5 hits. And the point is actually a 9. The 5 hits, I'll give $2. I can press both sides up to 35, right? I can press both sides up to 35. As if the 9 was the point, I couldn't go there and go press it up to 35, especially if it was up to max bet, which is 4 times, unless I put more money that I'm going to get paid for even money on the pass line. Whereas this way, I can press this up, right? I mean, I can press this up. Let's say I think I like the 9, so over here hits a 5 hits again. I get paid 50 for one, right? So I can go away and press this whole thing up to 85. I cannot do that back there on my odds, right? So why would I want that back there? I want to be able to do what I want to do, right? Or I could just take it to 60 over here and 60 over here, but I still press this bet up that if it was in the back of my pass line, I couldn't do it unless I add more money to the regular pass line and getting paid even money. So that's that's my reasoning for doing this, right? Plus, I can always take this money down anytime I want. I can take off my odds bet, but my pass line's gonna have to stay. So more options here, getting paid more here. If I cannot put at least 5 times odds in the back of my bet, you make more money here. So anyway, that's those are things that I do. Okay, back to where are you, Alfredo? Where are you? Oh, my favorite casino. So Nugget, Fremont, Orleans, El Cortez, And now that I played at Palace Station a little bit, I don't mind Palace Station either. So, and also I also played at the Palms. Well, the table wasn't too bad either. So those would probably be my five places, and that's because um, not some places the dealers are better than others, and that's not their fault because when had the COVID, a lot of dealers weren't working, and so they probably moved on to other places, and now the hotels are trying to, especially the smaller hotels, are trying to grab people from maybe blackjack or whatever and trying to teach them craps. So and being a craps dealer is not an easy thing, believe me. So um, have some sympathy for them and help them along because I've been dealing craps for a friend that puts out Vegas nights over here, not for money, so it's legal. But when you're a crap dealer and you got people, especially if you're not that good at dealing and the person who's betting is not good at betting at all, it makes it even harder. So, take care of your dealers because they work pretty hard for what they're doing, and it's not an easy task as being a dealer. So, anyway, take care of them. So the dealers, the personnel there, the friendliness of the hotels and things like that. That's what I look for. So for sure, South Point is not one of my favorites. Haven't even been there for years. Robert, how you doing, my man? Just doing one talk story, Robert. Just gonna end it, but just when I'm ending it, I have another question that people wanted to do. So right after this, Alfredo and I, or maybe Alfredo, give me about. I'll call you when I'm off with this and tell you. Maybe give me 10 minutes or so that I can set up and we can practice. So hopefully you guys like the talk story session, and if more people like it, then I'll go ahead and maybe do it once a week when I have the time. So anyway, thanks again for checking out the Crabs Hawaii channel. Thank you for the support. All of you that have subscribed, thank you very much. Oh, Robert, babysitting duties today. Hmm. Well, go ahead and Go ahead and toss dice on the bed. Practice something, yeah. We always gotta practice something. Okay, gang. Thanks again. Like I said, hopefully I can just turn off this video and it'll be good and it'll be posted later on. Thank you, Blue Jay. Hey, Fuji, how's it? Didn't want to bother you. I know you at work, so we'll get together later, maybe another session. I'll check out what the views are on the YouTube channel after this gets posted, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you very much.